Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll take your later like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected.
Good evening. Welcome to News Desk, 45 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Wednesday, February 26, 2025. My name is Marka Davis, anchoring this presentation. This news program is powered by Bank Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. The top stories we are following tonight: chaotic scene in Monrovia as soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia clash with police officers in what is believed to be in retaliation of an earlier assault on an army officer in Pinsville. House of Representatives dismisses reports that the ECOWAS Parliament has rejected Liberia's representatives recently elected to the regional body, describes the information as misleading. Nimba County senatorial aspirant T. Wanoke warns Vice President Jeremiah Cohn to remain neutral in the upcoming senatorial by-election in Nimba. And of the home front, at least 46 people have been killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed into a residential neighborhoods in Odoma, the twin city of the capital, Khartoum, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, including the bulletin of news, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all packaged on this edition. We're taking a short break to be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
At this point, to cross over now to Naketa Roberts to bring us the news bulletin.
Tensions are mounting in Monrovia as officers of the Liberian National Police are clashing with soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia. The chaotic scene at the SD Kokororo intersection along the Torgbean Boulevard is said to be in retaliation by AFL soldiers revenging an assault on one of their colleagues by police officer. According to unconfirmed reports, the AFL soldier allegedly attacking police officers in Pinsville in retaliation of an alleged assault on a soldier wearing civilian uniform or clothes over the weekend. Officer William Davis, Safety 4, was one of several police officers assaulted. He sustained major head injuries and is currently undergoing treatment at the ERWA hospital. Spoon Network is quoting the victim as explaining that he was reportedly attacked by over 10 AFL soldiers around the ERWA area. However, RCR News cannot independently verify these reports as investigation continues. President Joseph Boakai has disclosed that his government has held talks with some friends to take over Bapulu County hospitals, build roads, bridges, and undertake other developmental initiatives in the county. Speaking at the dedication of a newly constructed water system in Bapulu City on Wednesday, President Boakai commended the present leadership of Bapulu County, citing that disunity in town part has kept development far from the county. The Liberian leader further assured residents of Bapulu County of his government commitment to developing the county, noting that water system is being celebrated because it is long overdue. President Boakar also assured Liberians that his government is committed to developing the country, stating that the country is backward for no good reason. For his part, Water Swore Managing Director Mo Ali attributed the success of the mini water system in Bapulu City to the efforts of Bapulu County Senator Amara Konen. The House of Representatives has dismissed information circulating on social media alleging that the ECOWAS Parliament has rejected Liberia's elected representatives to the regional parliament. The leadership of the House has termed the information as misleading. The House Director of Press, Robert Haynes, clarified that the leadership of Speaker Richard Cohn has not received any official communication from the ECOWAS Parliament on this matter. Robert Haynes further explained that the Office of the Chief Clerk serves as the official conduit for all communications to and from the plenary, both locally and internationally, stating that official parliamentary matters are not conducted on Facebook. He urged Liberians and residents to disregard baseless social media rumors and rely on credible sources for accurate information, adding Liberia's government process remains responsible, structured, and transparent. An aspirant in the upcoming senatorial by-election in Nimba County has cautioned Vice President Jeremiah Cohn to remain neutral in the process. The Wonoke wants VP Cohn to follow the example of the late Senator Prince Johnson by not interfering in the electoral process. Speaking on the Truth Breakfast show on Wednesday, T. Wonoke called on Myeans to vote based on qualification and not sentiment, noting that he is not comfortable running on any political party ticket. Wonoke disclosed that he brings experience, love for country, private sector investment, citing that he has begun construction of a university in Fendel that will help high school graduates from Nimba get advanced education. Meanwhile, on the debate about who replaces the late Senator Prince Johnson as political godfather of Nimba, aspirant T. Wonoke said Vice President Jeremiah Cohn is the only person deserving of such tattoo. He said currently Vice President Cohn is the highest ranking government official from the county and has no competition for the tattoo of political godfather. The leadership of the Merged Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle Unions of Liberia has distanced itself from Wednesday's street protest staged by some motorcyclists. The President General of the Federation, John Keon, disclosed that the march across Monrovia on Wednesday was a political move supported by the opposition Congress for Democratic Change, CDC. Some motorcyclists took to the streets on Wednesday in a peaceful protest calling on government to lift the no-go zone ban placed on motorcyclists from running in the nation's capital. Speaking to RCA News via phone on Wednesday, John Keon disclosed that the union is currently negotiating with the government and it is not aware of any protests. According to him, the protest stage on Wednesday was influenced by the Youth League of CDC and not the motorcycle and tricycle unions. He is meanwhile calling on the over 300,000 motorcyclists in the country to exercise restraints, noting that all efforts are being exerted with the requisite authorities for the lifting of the ban. The Liberia Baptist Theological Seminary and the April 22nd Memorial Group have signed a memorandum of understanding for the provision of land for the reburial of the late President William R. Tupper and 13 officials of government executed following the April 12, 1980 military coup. On April 12, 1980, President William R. Tupper was killed in a coup, while 13 officials of his government were tried by a special military tribunal and publicly executed at the beach just behind the Barclay Training Center on April 22nd the same year. Since then, the children and relatives of the late President Tupper and his officials executed by the People's Redemption Council have organized themselves as the April 22nd Memorial Group. Speaking Wednesday during the signing of the MOU in Pinsville, the chairman of the board of directors of the Liberia Baptist Theological Seminary, Ambassador Maswell Kemea, said the seminary family will continue to work with the families of the April 22nd Memorial Group until the late president and the 13 officials are properly reburied. According to Ambassador Kemea, President Tupper was very instrumental in the establishment of the seminary, and as such, the institution will ensure that he and his officials are given a final resting place. Remarking on behalf of the April 22nd Memorial Group, the daughter of the late President Tupper, Willie May Turber King thanked the Liberia Baptist Missionary and Educational Convention and President Joseph Boakai for their efforts in providing a final resting place for Liberia's fallen heroes. Mrs. Turber King said for their father and his officials to have a final resting place 45 years after they were brutally killed in a military coup brings a closure to another sad story in Liberia's history. The PSU officers, that's the PSU police officer who allegedly shot and killed Favor Camara at the Banjo Beach in Montserrat County, has been forwarded to court for criminal prosecution. Suspect Boyman Marsale, age 42, on Tuesday, according to RCR judicial correspondent, was forwarded to court by the police following 2 weeks of investigation, where he was charged for negligent homicide. The police investigation revealed that on February 12, 2025, defendant Boyman Marsale and the deceased Favor Camara and some other friends were sitting under the palm tree at Banjo Beach catching cold air when the police officer walked towards them with 2 girls. While approaching the victim, he took out his assigned weapon from his holster and started shooting, thus discharging 3 rounds from his assigned weapon. As a result of the shooting, victim Favor was hit by one of the bullets and fell to the ground, where he bled profusely from his neck and shoulders. About 500 people are receiving free medical and surgical services during a 2-day event in Douazon, Lower Magibi County. The initiative is being provided by Harvest Intercontinental Douazon Church in partnership with J&J Memorial Hospital in Harvest, Houston, USA. According to the deputy presiding bishop of Harvest Intercontinental Church, Bishop Musa Kofer, and Reverend Joseph Reed Sr., the visionary of Harvest Douazon Church. This free medical service is being offered to commemorate the 50th birthday of Dr. Yata Saki Wepo, director of J&J Medical Hospital, as a way to give back to the community. The free services offered during the event include surgical procedures, among others. In addition, residents are receiving tests and treatments for hypertension, diabetes, malaria, and other health conditions. Girls between the ages of 9 to 14 years are also benefiting from a free human PHV vaccination to protect them against genital warts and, in the most cases, cervical cancer. The medical services are being provided alongside a 5-day crusade revival, further emphasizing the church commitment to both the physical and spiritual well-being of the community. In an interview with this station, church authorities highlighted the importance of addressing the physical needs of the community, reflecting Christ's teachings of compassion. Reverend Joseph Reed explained that while the church regularly preached the message of Christ, not everyone has the same level of faith. Therefore, providing medical help is crucial in meeting their immediate needs. Bishop Musa Kofer added that the total cost of the free medical services is approximately $15,000 funded by Harvest Houston, USA, and its partners. The executive director of Integrity Watch Liberia has stressed the need for the private sector, CSOs, and the government to harness efforts aimed at curbing corruption, increase accountability, and strengthen good governance in the natural resource sector. Harold Ado said combined efforts are needed to ensure that the ordinary people benefit from the natural resources in the country in the wake of the cut in international assistance from the United States, Britain, and other European countries. Ado made the assertion at the opening of a 1-day policy dialogue on strengthening institution governance and accountability in Liberia's natural resources sector in Monrovia on Wednesday. The Integrity Watch Liberia executive director said the private sector and government must work together to ensure that the natural resources can be used to address the many problems and challenges in Liberia. The policy dialogue, sponsored by the RH8, brought together participants and discussants from civil society organizations, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, Forestry Development Authority, the National Bureau of Concession, among others. And out of Liberia now, the BBC is reporting that at least 45 people have been killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Oduma, the twin city of the capital, Khartoum state media says. The untowed aircraft came down after takeoff from the military Wadi Sinat Air Base on Tuesday evening, killing military officials and civilians. The cause of the crash is unclear, but military sources have been quoted as saying it was likely to have been a technical malfunction. That's our CN News Bulletin. Is back to Marka Davis.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala if you don't organize yourself in a respectful manner, we'll keep your later Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary of 12. My name is Hansen the Represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life as a
Naketa Roberts for bringing us the news bulletin tonight. It is a regular feature here on News Desk. In one of the top stories we are following tonight, Demba County senatorial aspirant T. Wonoke warns Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn to remain neutral in the upcoming senatorial by-election in the county. Well, let's go to this development. It is an ugly scene in Monrovia today as members of the armed forces of Liberia are clashing with officers of the Liberian National Police. Many persons have condemned the incident as being unprofessional and calling on authorities to take immediate action on those involved. The chaotic scene at the SD Cooper Road intersection along the Torgbean Boulevard is said to be in retaliation by AFL soldiers mentioned an earlier assault on one of their colleagues by police officers. Here are highlights from the scene. Well, you're listening to some reaction from members of the public at the scene in Kamba Town, where there are clashes ongoing between members of the armed forces of Liberia and police officers. The House of Representatives has dismissed information circulating on the social media alleging that ECOWAS Parliament has rejected Liberia's elected representatives to the regional parliament. The leadership of the House has termed the information as misleading. The House's Director of Press, Robert Hines, clarified that the leadership of Speaker Richard Combs has not received any official communication from the ECOWAS Parliament on this matter.
Well, let me state here basically that the Honorable House of Representatives
on the gap of House Speaker Richard Nankwekum, which is to categorically dismiss the misleading information circulating on social media regarding the alleged rejection of Liberia's elected representative to the ECOWAS Parliament. Let it be clear that under the leadership of Speaker Richard Nankwekum, the House of Representatives has not received any official communication from the ECOWAS Parliament on this matter. For the record, the Office of the Chief Clerk serves as the official conduit for all communications to and from the plenary to both local and international bodies. Official parliamentary matters are not conducted on Facebook. Let me state that. And we want to call on all citizens and residents to disregard baseless social media rumors and rely on credible sources for accurate information. Liberia's governance process remains responsible, well-structured, and transparent under the leadership of House Speaker Richard Nankwekum. We want to emphasize that very clearly.
He is the Director of Press at the House of Representatives. Robert hints they're providing that clarity. While in an effort to give safe drinking water to the people of Liberia in different parts of the country, the President of Liberia, Joseph Boakai, has dedicated a rural water system constructed by the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. During the dedication on Wednesday in Bopolu City, Bapolu County, President Boakai disclosed that his government has held talks with some friends to take over Bapolu County hospitals, build roads, bridges, and undertake other developmental initiatives in the county. Speaking at the dedication of the newly constructed water system in Bopolu, President Boakai commended the present leadership of Bapolu County, citing that this unity, this time past, has kept development far from the county.
We have already discussed with some friends to take over this hospital. Now we have to build the roads here. And of course, the bridges are going to be built, but I must admit to you that this is the first time I feel so happy with the kind of leadership I'm seeing in Apple. You may not believe it, but for many, many, and they're fighting that development away from this. Even when there were opportunities to extend programs here, that division to try this county. And I'm very serious about it. And I think at least this is the first time I'm seeing, in spite of all the problems we have, that people are now getting together to think about this county. This county was the first statutory county in this country. Look by it looks like mineral rich county and yet underdeveloped. The Minister of Education gave me the report. Bapolu is among the 7 counties where there is a high level of under registration of school going to. And of course, it tells the story. I'm very happy that this time around we're looking at leadership and thinking about development and thinking about making progress. And I just want to assure you that we are on board with
President Joseph Boakai, speaking in Bopolu City on Wednesday, when he dedicated a newly constructed water system by the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. For his part, Water and Sewer Managing Director Mo Ali attributed the success of the mini water system in Bopolu to the efforts of the county's Senator Amara Kone.
And during my confirmation hearing, one of the things we pledged was to bring water to the capitals of the 15 counties. And fast forward to Bapolu County, one day I received a call from Senator Amara Kone, who asked about bringing water to the people of Bopolu City. The exact words were, "Small brother, my people in Bopolu have never seen a running water. It will be a good thing for you to carry water there." And I told him, "Mr. Senator, the ball is in your court. The legislature controls the budget. So if you can lobby with your colleagues in the Senate to have some money in the budget, I promise we will take water to Bopolu City for you." The next time he called, he announced to me that there was $250,000 placed in the budget to construct a water system in Popo. And so, however, we will start the process and will depend on the county and other members of the legislative caucus to lobby in the future to extend the project. But we accepted the challenge. And then immediately after that, there were doubts about whether the project would go on. In fact, there were accusations that Senator Conner had placed this money in the budget through the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation to withdraw the money to pocket it for himself. So every now and then, Mr. President, Senator Conner will call and ask about the progress of this project. So we were updating him consistently the day we did a groundbreaking when we started the construction of everything.
He is the managing director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, Mo Ali, there speaking during the dedication of the mini water system in Bopolo City today. An aspirant in the upcoming Nimba County senatorial by-election has cautioned Vice President Jeremiah Kun to remain neutral in the process. T1 wants VP Kun to follow the example of late Senator Prince Johnson by not interfering in the electoral process. Speaking on the Truth Breakfast show Wednesday, T1 called on the Myeans to vote based on qualification and not sentiment, noting that he is not comfortable running on any political party's ticket.
Also, we all agree that he was the godfather of Nimba County. This is a direct message to the vice president and all who were in that direction. Did you see Prince Johnson go to Nimba and pick a side and say, vote this person? Did you see that? No, that's leadership. That's the type of leadership. That is the kind of leadership that we encourage our vice president to emulate. I had a conversation with Prince Johnson and I was trying to get into the race and I was trying to inquire for him. And what he told me, he said, Fernando, you're a guild man. And I am a guild man. I'm already a senator, and there is one seat to be filled. As long as the people of Nimba County in the 700 towns of villages that will make sure senatorial representation from Nimba be balanced. But then let it go to Havana Man. Now is Havana Man, and he's decided let it go to the good for the future. I'm not comfortable running any political party to get this money. When I win the senatorial seat in Nimba, I will vote on the issue. I will not vote on any political party line, and that is my commitment to the people of Nimba. Those who have political affiliation that usually blind their eyes and turn their eyes on the condition of the people. For me, that is a betrayal of the hopes and aspirations of the people. You are supposed to focus on qualification. You are supposed to focus on winning among all of the candidates. So this is what I present. I do not owe any allegiance to any political institution. I stand on my name and my family history in Nimba County, and I hope that the people of Nimba County will see that as what is required for this moment in time for a transformational leadership for somebody that is prepared to bring about change. My records are there and they speak for me. What I bring to the table is experience. What I bring to the table is love for country. What I bring to the table is significant, substantive amount of private sector investment. Many of these people that I'm running against, not one of them can raise their hand and say, before I ever served in public office.
Meanwhile, on the debate about who replaces late Senator Johnson as political governor of the county, aspirant Wanake said Vice President Jeremiah Kun is the only person deserving of such title. He said currently, Vice President Kun is the highest-ranking government official from the county and has no competition for the title of political godfather.
As the right leader, who they fit that nomenclature as a godfather, I think that would be rightfully with Jeremiah Kun. He has heard in so many quarters. That same program has said that he will become a senator and then become a godfather and then run for president in 2029. So those who have not heard this, be warned. When you see the gentleman jumping over the body, this interpretation is that he is invoking the spirit of Prince Johnson to become the godfather of Nimba County so that he can prepare himself to run. Prince Johnson has son. You know that the picture that is now, all over social media when he's kneeling down and putting his hand on his head. What that picture is about is when he has just insulted the old man so badly and used some serious stupidity. When he went to the project, some of the women tried to say, I forgive him, he knelt down and opened for one day. Many people do that in Nigeria. He has a picture now on viral, and that is the picture that Incident Johnson is currently. That is not true. That is his sexual removal. And I will say to him that he should not be surprised when the campaign starts, when videos and audio start to come from all corners of Nigeria.
He is still one and aspiring for the Senate in the upcoming Nemba County senatorial by-election. He spoke this morning on the Truth Breakfast show via mobile phone from the U.S. The leadership of the merged Federation of Commercial Motorcycle and Tricycle Unions of Liberia distanced itself from Wednesday's street protest staged by some cyclists. The President General of the Federation, John Kenyal, disclosed that the march across Monrovia on Wednesday was a political move supported by the opposition Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC.
Around the slipway that which led to the death of a cyclist. Since then, we've had several engagements with other local and international partners, including the Liberian National Police. And even today, we are having a pending meeting scheduled for 3 o'clock at the U.S. Post, where we are discussing issues surrounding our cyclists coming back in the streets. And so the guys right now, as we speak, I want to say to you clearly and the general public that the entire thing is being politicized to the extent that the CDC and being supported by the TA, Janako, they are the one using their deputy chair on the motorcycle affairs in the UAE, who having to be drawn and mobilizing motorcyclists with the intent of killing some political relevance. Having gone yesterday, we were at the Capitol building. We had a meeting with the chair on transport, who having to be on the board, Joseph, and we had a fruitful discussion, and we rescheduled another meeting tomorrow where there will be a dialogue between the entire motorcyclist leadership in the country and that of the Liberian National Police and the Senate Committee on Transport. That committee, I was informed, it is a 9 senators committee. And so tomorrow, we are told by 3 o'clock to assemble at the Capitol building where we're going to be discussing.
Well, John Kenya is the President General of the Federation of Motorcycle and Tricycle of Liberia. They're speaking today on Truth FM. The Executive Director of Integrity Watch Liberia has stressed the need for the private sector, the civil society organizations, and the government to harness efforts aimed at curbing corruption, increase accountability, and strengthen good governance in the natural resource sector. Harold Ado said combined efforts are needed to ensure that the ordinary people benefit from the natural resources of the country in the wake of the cut in international assistance from the United States, Britain, and other European countries. Ado made the assertion at the opening of a one-day policy dialogue on strengthening inclusive governance and accountability in Liberia's natural resource sector.
As a country, I strongly believe that we are at an inflection point. We are at an inflection point, in my opinion, for a number of reasons. We are at a point in our nation where we just launched our new development framework, which is the arrest agenda for inclusive development. Strengthening inclusive governance and accountability in Liberia's natural resource sector. It's also strongly based on many of the ideas.
You'll be producing, you can be looking at people.
The arrest agenda identifies a number of critical gaps that are affecting our natural resource sector, which is the fact that the sector is not able to adequately raise or support the government's revenue mobilization drive. The fact that there are a lot of huge issues when it comes to corruption, when it comes to governance gaps, government deficit, capacity, the fact that many communities are not really benefiting from many of the structures that are taking place in their communities, a lot of conflict. So when you look at the arrest agenda, it actually highlights a number of issues. A second reason being that if you look at the geopolitical, what is happening around the world, the USAID, as many of you know, has withdrew its support, its aid. So we believe that there's a better time now. If we talk about the need to, ensure the sector works better for us, this is the opportune time
Because across the globe, debate is shifting because priorities across the globe are shifting. And we believe that as a country that is highly endowed with natural resources, this is the time for us to be able to make sure that we manage our resources in a way that will be transparent, inclusive, and accountable, and we as a nation can derive the best out of it too.
He is the executive director of Integrity Watch Liberia, Hera Ado, there speaking today at the opening of a one-day policy dialogue on strengthening inclusive governance and accountability in Liberia's natural resource sector. The policy dialogue was held in Monrovia. Well, it brought together participants and discussants from civil society organizations, the Ministry of Mines and Energy, the Forestry Development Authority, the National Bureau of Construction, sponsored by RH Aid. As part of church efforts to give back to the community and humanity, Harvest Intercontinental Dwazon Church, in partnership with J&J Memorial Hospital and Harvest Houston, USA, have begun providing free medical services to about 500 people in Dwazon, Lower Margibi County, according to the Deputy Presiding Bishop of Harvest Intercontinental Church, Bishop Musa Kofe, and Reverend Joseph Red Senior, the visionary of Harvest Dwazon. The free medical service is being offered to commemorate the 50th birthday of Dr. Yata Sakiwapo, director of J&J Memorial Hospital, as a way to give back to the communities. The free medical services are being provided alongside a 5-day crusade revival, which commenced on Wednesday in Dwazon, Lower Margibi. Here is Bishop Kofe, the deputy presiding bishop. Harvest Intercontinental is followed by Reverend Joseph Red Senior, the visionary of Harvest Dwazon Church.
So when we finally agreed to schedule this week, Dr. Wapo, who's run this today, the name of this church, proposed that soon to celebrate the response. So we combine both the gospel outreach and in collaboration with this church. One of the systems is in thanks to our brothers in the US and here locally. We've contributed immensely to this project. At the moment, we have received up to 60% of the budget for this event, and we are counting on our donors, both local and the US, to help us meet our target. The total cost is about $15,000. Which includes both the crusade and the medical outreach.
So the gospel will be preached and the movie trusted God this week. So TV will take place, the movies will also take place.
Well, speaking on behalf of the J&J Memorial Hospital, Ms. Lida Wapo described the collaboration with the church in meeting people's medical needs is geared towards helping the poor and less fortunate across underprivileged communities. She now outlines the services provided.
So while they're there, they'll go through screening. We'll do basic labs for them, like malaria and blood sugar tests. And then we'll also be giving free medication for people that have diabetes, hypertension, and malaria. Also, we'll be doing 20 free surgeries at the J&J Memorial Health Center, 15 for hernia rapid, that is people that have fibroids, that have hernias, and 5 myomectomies, that is for 5 women that have myomas. So initially, they came here, the entire process started last week. We came here last week, Wednesday, for pre-screening. So the surgical patients, they came and then we screen them here and then we send them to the hospital for further labs and further examination by our doctors here. So after that, they were admitted last night for the surgeries and then the surgeries commenced today.
Well, as part of the initiative, girls between the ages of 9 to 15 years are also benefiting from the free human pallomavirus vaccination to protect them against genital warts and, in the most cases, cervical cancer. Susanna Cooper is the medical staff for the team providing this service.
We are giving HPV vaccine, which fight against the womb cancer. It is important for our children, more especially the girl children from 9 years to 14 years, because it will be preventing them from getting cervical cancer, which is womb cancer.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries of the free medical surgery thanked Harvest and the J&J Memorial Hospital for the medical service.
Just want to be grateful to Almighty God that they have a feeling thank you for bringing medication to our community. Also, to tell the J&J Memorial Hospital thank you for being benefiting from it. I think they asked me some questions and I was able to answer it concerning my health and also the condition.
Well, those are voices of people who have benefited from the free medical services being provided by Harvest Intercontinental Church Duazon in collaboration with J&J Memorial Hospital, currently taking place in Duazon Lower. Margaret County, thanks to Liberian journalist Evelyn Badasigui for providing these excerpts. Access to safe drinking water for the country's population has been a serious challenge for government to address over the past decades since the end of the Liberian Civil War, which witnessed the destruction of the nation's infrastructures. Since then, the nation has been struggling to restore basic social services to its citizens, specifically in the areas of water and sanitation. However, Living Water Project, in collaboration with the GSA Road Church of Christ, has stood up in the gap of government for over 10 years now, providing safe drinking water to the needy. For the past week, Living Water Project has been dedicating and turning over safe drinking water facilities it constructed for the neediest population across Liberia. Well, Living Water Project media consultant Edward Kennedy has been providing an update about charities last week turning over of safe drinking water facilities to beneficiaries when he addressed reporters in Todi, Moserado County.
The water project for the past week step up its campaign to provide safe drinking water facilities to the most neediest communities in Moserado, Bon, and Mandibi counties. Talking about most neediest communities, those communities that are deprived of our safe drinking water. So the benefiting communities include the GSA Road, the St. John community in the St. Pinsville, and then Ogoba town in Toy district, that's Moserado County. In Bon County, Mamu benefited, and then in Lower Mandibi County, a town called Ruba also benefited. And
the Liberia Baptist Theological Seminary and the April 22 Memorial Group have signed a memorandum of understanding for the provision of land for the reburial of late President William R. Tobert and 13 officials of his government executed following the April 12 military coup in 1980, where the board chair of the Baptist Theological Seminary, Ambassador Maxwell Kimia, has been explaining more about the MOU.
Let me reaffirm the unreserved commitment of the LETL on our part as chairman of the board of trustees to the content and process of this MOU is impactful. We stand ready to support effective implementation, ensuring practical behavior, respect, and remembrance are upheld throughout our shared community.
The daughter of late President Tobert, Willie Mae Tobert King, spoke on behalf of the April 22 Memorial Group.
When put into in 1918, and God has helped us together to be able to take that part of that. which began largely on Tuesday, 18 February 2025, to inform the remains of our loved from the last grave in the Parkville to.
Well, folks, this is how we love to go home on this presentation of News Dex tonight. But before we take leave of you, these are the top stories we followed. Chaotic scene in Monrovia. Soldiers of the armed forces of Liberia clash with police officers in what is believed to be in retaliation of an earlier assault on an army officer in Painesville. House of Representatives dismisses reports that the ECOWAS Parliament has rejected Liberia's representatives recently elected to the regional body, described the information circulating on the social media as misleading. Nimba County senatorial aspirant T. Wanoke wants Vice President Jeremiah Cohn to remain neutral in the upcoming senatorial by-election in Nimba. And of the home front, at least 46 people have been killed and 10 others injured after a Sudanese military plane crashed in a residential neighborhood in Omdurman, the twin city of the capital Khartoum, according to the BBC. Many thanks to all of you for your listening role. Thanks to our reporters, correspondents, and all those who helped to make this edition of News Dex a success. Thanks to those who also follow us on Real TV Online. Naketa Roberts read for us the news bulletin tonight. Sorry, we could not bring you sports. Copper Sangasara controlled and coordinated the sounds. Myean Torgbean, as usual, has been behind the cameras. Thanks to our sponsors, Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. My name is Marka Davis. Good night.
Ria TV, True FM.
In Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep your plate.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary at 12. My name is Hansen the Represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and how to call it.
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Both connected with this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM 96.1.